Welcome to our QR video sequence. I am the owner here and one of the lead developers of this product. Hopefully we're going to teach you a little bit about building with a woody log building system. We appreciate you watching, and hopefully you're going to learn something about building your dream log cabin. This step is going to be laying out the anchor bolt placement. Again, remember that 56-inch number I talked about a couple of steps earlier. We're actually going to lay that 56 number out because that's going to identify where our anchor bolts go. So earlier we've decided that this foundation is exactly the right size. So we're going to put a square here 4 inches in from either side. And what Alfred's going to do is put a mark at 4 and 4. He will take his square and create the intersection of those 2 points. Okay, now at that exact intersection, he's going to drive a nail. And that nail we're going to use for nothing more than a hook point for our tape measure. Now, on the other end, we're going to also pull a line 4 by 4. So, and then Matt is going to grab the chalk line because we're going to snap a line along this place, along this 4-inch line off the foundation. Okay. Now I talked to you earlier about if your building is not quite square or your plywood is bigger or smaller, this is our reference line for the building. When we get to the other side of this, we'll show you how this reference line is used now to lay out the balance of the building. So again, if your deck is not exactly square, we can help you. So the guys are going to snap a reference line here at 4 inches inside the outside perimeter of your building, okay? Kind of it sounds a little confusing, but 4 inches inside the outside of your perimeter of your building. So we've snapped a line there. This line is going to give us, again, our lineup for our anchor bolts. Now, while we're doing this, we're also going to snap a line at 5.5 inches inside of the outside of the foundation. And in the next segment, we'll show you what that line is for. Now, this first line that I put in, that's our anchor bolt line that we're going to use. This line here we use later on in reference, but we do snap it in at 5.5 in this particular sequence so that it's a lot easier to do here. So now we're going to put our nail back into that hole. And now we're going to hook our tape on that hole, or hook our tape on that nail. And we are going to lay 56-inch increments from that. So we want to measure in a continuous line. We don't want to go here 56 and then move our tape 56. So we know, and on your chart it shows you these increments. The next measurement's going to be 112. Okay, then the next measurement is 14 feet 8 inches. Now those I know, you will know too from your chart. But the point I'm trying to make here is reference from one point and then do 56-inch increments. And then he'll go all the way down to the other end. Take your tape all the way to the other end. And at the end, you should be at 24 feet minus 8 inches should be your last mark. Once we have the first 4-inch line snapped and laid out, our 56 inches again, 56, 112, and the increments thereof, we just want to put a line across that point. And that is going to give us references for putting our plates down. That'll be the next step that we're going to do, is actually put our anchor plates down. Right now though, I'm going to give you a little tip, and we're going to move on to kind of an out of sequence step, but that step's going to make it a lot easier for you 10, 12 steps from now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've been entertained a little bit. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about the woody log building system. The reality is anybody can do it. We've given you a little bit of a helping hand through our QR series and our initiative. If you have any further questions, contact us at the information listed.